Hello students, in this video I will demonstrate how to take an interval or ratio scale variable and convert it into an categorical variable. We have a data set in front of us which shows star rating and number of rooms for different hotel brands. Star rating is categorical variable and number of rooms is interval scale variable or ratio variable. Now there may be many reasons for converting the ratio or interval scale variable to categorical variable. For example, maybe I want to do a cross tabulation between star rating with number of rooms. So if I convert the number of rooms into 2 or 3 meaningful categories, then we can have a cross tabulation created by using pivot table function in Excel. So let's get started. Suppose I want to first try creating 2 categories for number of rooms. So let me just call that 2 category number of rooms. And my criteria will be the following. If the number of rooms are 100 or less, I will call this category 1. If the number of rooms in hotel are more than 100, we'll call this category 2. So we can do this calculation easily using an if function. And to get started, I want to make sure my mouse is clicked on the cell E2 and I hit an equal sign followed by an if statement. If statement works in the following way: you write the if command and you start the bracket, and it has 3 set of values I need to give. First is the logical test, then 2 outcomes: if the value is true and if the value is false. So let's put the logical test, and the test will be that I want to check if the number here is less than 100, less than or equal to 100. So I would first click on the cell and say if this is less than equal to 100. That's my logical test. If the test is true, I want to put the category to be 1, and if the test is not true, which means that the number of rooms is more than 100, I want the category to be 2. So you put this command and let's see if it works. It does. So I have number of rooms which are more than 100, so I got category 2. Now I can simply copy the formula down and I can see that I have number of rooms put into a categorical variable with 2 categories for each of the observations. Now suppose I wanted to do same calculation but this time with 3 categories. So let's first put that here. So 3 cat number of rooms variable. To do so, this calculation is a little bit more complex. We will first have to figure out the ranges for the 3 categories. So let's say I want to have the first range will be between 0 and 100. So I'll just, to remind us, I will put it here, 0 to 100. This will be my first category. Second will be 101 to 200, and then third will be 201 or more. So we need to have an if statement which will get us started just like the previous calculation, but for the second group in particular, between 101 to 200, I have to not only ensure that the numbers are more than 100, but I have to also ensure that the numbers are 200 or less. So we have 2 criteria, and therefore we will be using another if statement followed by an AND statement. So it's still a bit more complex, but it's very logical. Let's see. So I'm going to get started, and once again let's start with the first number, and I will start by saying equal and if. My logical test remains exactly same. I'm going to test if this number in cell C2 is less than or equal to 100. Just like before, if that criteria is satisfied, then we are going to put 1 for the category. If that is not satisfied, however, then we have to check whether the number is in second or third category. So I'm going to set a comma, and I will put another if statement followed by my another logical test which will ensure that the numbers are indeed between 101 and 200. So I will test now if the values are more than 101 and less than 200. So we'll be using an AND function, and we can put within the AND function, similar to if function, we can put the logical test, which will be E2. I want it to be greater than 100, and I also want this number to be less than or equal to 200. And if both of these conditions are true, then I will call this category true, and if this is not true, then I'm going to call it category 3. So let's just close the brackets. So I have closed the green bracket. Now let me close one more bracket, and I think my statement is complete. Let's review it. I am saying if this cell C2 is less than 100, call it category 1. If it is the first condition is not true, and if the number is between 100 and 200, call it category 2. And if neither of these first two conditions are true, then call it category 3. That's how I would read this statement. So let's go ahead and insert, and I did get category number 2. Let's see if it works. I can see that there's one number, one of the hotel brands has 220 rooms. So let's see if it can find category 3 for that. And it does. So as you can see, I have category 2, 1, 2, and 2, and then whenever the number goes beyond 200, I see category 3 appearing. So this video has demonstrated how you can use an if statement, how you can use an if statement nested within another if statement, and how you can use an AND statement to convert an interval or ratio scale variable into a categorical variable. Once again, you can use these calculations to do cross tabulation or to summarize data.